Hi, folks. It's me, Michael Bach, and this is your Lunchtime Learning on SHRM's Inclusion 2023 conference taking place from October 30th to November 1st in beautiful Savannah, Georgia. Today, I am joined by not one, but two fabulous guests who are going to be speakers at the conference. I'm joined by Tawana Gardner, principal with Aim for Change LLC, and Joy Toney, senior program consultant, also with Aim for Change LLC, whose session titled Bullying: Remedies for the Schoolyard to the C-Suite takes place Monday, October 30th at 1 p.m. Welcome, Tawana and Joy.
Thank you for having us, Michael.
So happy you could be here. Now, let's dig in. Tell me about your topic.
Well, as you just said, that it's focused on bullying, and that's the core kind of initial message of our topic. But we're going to be talking about how we can move from bullying to going to a culture of anti-bullying and belonging, to create that type of environment where people feel welcomed and they feel like they're heard and they feel like they're seen and also respected. So we're going to be moving in that direction for the duration of the talk. We're going to give some examples of how bullying kind of starts out when people are younger, because it's a learned behavior, right? It's not something that you're just born with, but it's something that you learn over time. And sometimes it's taught to you by emulating adults around you, and you observe that behavior and you mimic it. And so it kind of sticks with you. And then when you move into the workplace, you may bring some of those behaviors that you've mimicked all of your life into the workplace and then emulate them there as well. And so there are actually statistics out there about bullying in the workplace, about how adults feel when they're bullied at work. Some of the extreme cases of the results of bullying are also included in some of those statistics, and we'll share those during the session. But it's all about, at the end of the day, making sure that we create that culture of belonging and acceptance so that people don't feel like they're bullied. They feel like they are heard, seen, and respected.
It's interesting. We talk about bullying in schools now a lot. Like, the conversation around bullying is a very active topic, but we don't necessarily talk about how that transitions into our workplaces. And it absolutely does. And it certainly has an impact on the inclusiveness and belonging of an organization. So what do you want attendees to come away from your session with a better understanding of?
One, maybe they'll be able to identify their own biases. Two, things that they can do to create a more inclusive and equitable workplace. And we're going to give a lot of information about tips and how to identify it and things that they can do. So hopefully they'll come away with an action plan and be able to implement some of these things at their organizations. Absolutely. And of course, that's the goal, right? For all of us to learn and share and grow together. I've got a lot of work in the area myself, so I am not excluded from that, even though I'm, helping to talk about this topic. But, as long as there is awareness and you're willing to discuss it and see how you can make things better, and get feedback and improve. And, Tawana will be going over some of those methodologies as well in our talk. That's going to just help our workplaces become better. And also I think change kind of starts with the individual, right? It starts with the individual as me or I, and then change can radiate throughout the rest of the organization. So people should be encouraged to be that change that they want to see in their workplace. And some of these tips are very easy to implement. And so if people see you taking those strides and making those changes, they'll be more apt to make the changes themselves.
I love what you just said. And it reminds me of something that I talk about all the time, that we're all the products of the same system. And so absolutely, those of us who work in the inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility space have the potential to have bias, have the potential to be bullies, because we're still part of that system. It doesn't make us bad people necessarily. We've just learned the behavior. So I'm really excited for your session. Thank you so much for joining me today and having a bit of a chat. And remember, you can attend Tawana and Joy's session on Monday, October 30th at 1 p.m. And if you're not doing anything, you can attend my session, What Gets Measured Gets Done, Measuring Success in Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Accessibility, on Wednesday, November 1st at 7:30 a.m. Because what else are you going to be doing? Sleeping? Hope to see you in Savannah.
Actually, Michael, I think it'd be a great thing for them to follow up our session with your session because they're very complementary, right? You know, things that they can take the action-oriented approach and then measure themselves to be accountable. So I think it's a perfect marriage.
I love it. Cross-selling. Fantastic. Thank you, Joy. We'll see y'all in Savannah.